Hey friends, hi. Sorry, I was trying to log into the computer over here and so excuse me. Third chakra, Gemini week. Welcome to Coffee and Cards. Karen, Care Bear, Bard of Cards. Hopefully I'm not pixelating, but there's a high likelihood that I will because it is quite overcast and dreary looking outside today. I thought I almost heard thunder there for a second. I was like, go figure. Right in the sunroom. And yeah, because I wanted to look and see who was first on there. And then my son's Roblox window wouldn't go away. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay, just never mind. Never mind. You know, if you figure out password and then you run into another problem. Okay. Image is good. Okay, wow. Yeah, because I think I kind of went in and out yesterday a little bit, but it wasn't like as bad as it has been. Yeah, and see the comments just changed again. I don't know who was first. I really don't. I don't. Because the very first comment I could see was Millie saying hi to two other people. I'm like, what? So, yeah. And just coming from my perspective, I think maybe we all need a yes or no question today. Maybe we all need to be first lovers today. And all of us put a yes or no question out to the universe for, Mr. Predicto Kitty. We're going to prime in. So just think of a question, yes or no, to yourself.
Oh, everything points to yes.
That was just the primer, okay? That's not the official answer. The actual answer, I really have to shake it out of him good. So, anyways. Yeah, I feel really discombobulated today because I made the mistake of turning my phone stand too around, and then now I feel like I look crooked. I don't know. Like anyways, I need to get out of my head. That's a Gemini thing. Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's find out the answer to our yes or no question from the universe through this guy. All right. Oh, he's fast today.
Absolutely. Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds pretty positive to me. I hope, it wasn't like, ooh, is my boyfriend breaking up with me? Absolutely. So, yeah, it just depends what you asked, whether that is good or not. I really hope that it was good for all of you. And whoever the real first love is, probably everybody in chat knows. And of course, that person knows, except me. unless I see y'all actually sharing the true first love there. But yeah, can't depend on StreamYard comments. They automatically reorder themselves apparently too, which is really confusing for somebody like me who already is challenged in reading the chat and talking effectively. I mean, I would get Neil's nerves if I went full-blown Gemini. I would totally get Neil's nerves. Okay, let's say some hellos. Witchy Trista, hi. Saying hi to Josh. And then Millie, talking about stages of healing. Ooh. I shared in Discord last week with Mary Magdalene as the final product. That sounds interesting, Millie. And everybody remember to sub up we support each other here. Yes. Hi, Josh, with Mr. Floyd's Universe. So good to see you. Always good to see you. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. Catch the good dawning with Mr. Floyd. And Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, friend. How are you? Oh, seems like we're already dealing with some things here. Let me roll on through. Hi, Tina. So good to see you. So good to see you. It's like Danielle's mother, Mary Magdalene, which I need to light my other candle. This one has a wood wick, so you might hear the a crackling sound. That's what that is. I like the sound. But sometimes it comes up in the audio really loud, and it's funny because I'm like way back here from it with this. Yeah, it's pretty loud. It just sounded like it had gas. That wasn't me. Okay. Oh, tomorrow's your dad's birthday, Lindsay. Oh, I'm kind to him, even though he really doesn't deserve it. I mean, that's just being the bigger person, right? You can still have your boundaries. I mean, you don't have to be, sunshine and roses and rainbow butt bear. But yeah, I guess the least we can do at a point is just to be respectful and get along the best that we can, right? Sometimes that is for the greater good at times. Hi, Victor. Hi. We just got out of our meditation. Sorry, I was getting ready. But I was listening. I was listening. So I've really been going into it at night though. I don't know. I like to think some of those stronger energy pulses that you felt were me on some of those. I don't know. But anyways, I could definitely feel the energy. I feel like we are definitely y'all remember what is it, like Captain Planet or something like that? Earth, fire, water, air. Like I feel like we're all like, it's cool. I highly recommend it. It doesn't sound as wacky as I make it sound. It's actually something I look forward to every day, twice a day, 9:45 a.m. p.m. Eastern. Check out Truth Wave Meditation, please. All right. And then, of course, we've got Blindly Inspired. Krista, have we got you up to 100 subs yet? Oh, Lord, we need to do that. She's so close. She's so close if she's not there already. And I'd never tell y'all to sub to anybody that I don't genuinely like. or keep saying it. Yeah, I take pride in the opinions and things that I have enjoyed. I take pride in sharing those things, and that's a Gemini thing too. It's feeling like, sharing helpful or even just useless entertaining information. We're really good at that. The kid who's like, why? That's the Gemini. Yes. Hi, Kristen. 9 Worlds Intuitive Tarot. Please check out Kristen. And Kristen, yes, we were talking Lilith today. I know you love Lilith. I cannot do Lilith, a drop of justice compared to Kristen, who has been working with Lilith and really studying and putting, a lot can go into and studying all of these different, goddesses, archetypes, all of these things. A lot of them come shrouded in mystery with a lot of conflicting stories. So yeah, there's a lot to be gathered there. And yeah, I was impressed with Kristen on that for sure. All right, let's get through a few more hellos. My candle is being really like noisy. It's like, oh, Hershey's here. Hershey's here. We've got to sing happy birthday to Hershey, the shadow reader, because today is her birthday. Oh, John, hey, Mystic John Paranormal, please sub to him too. And we need to send out lots of good energy to John. Victor, you're in Chicago, right? Or that area, right? John is going to be flying from San Diego to Chicago, and the weather was like total crap. Like, it looks like really dangerous. I don't know. Yeah, and I believe that happens on your birthday too, doesn't it, John? To tell you. There's a couple of things too I wanted to say to you, John, was look, I don't know that it'll be a big deal. And this is one of the tangents I did want to mention today is like yesterday, that void of course moon card that came up when I was actually here yesterday doing my live. It was a void of course moon. And it goes void of course a lot more than I thought it did. I actually like kind of went down a little rabbit hole and looked at a calendar and stuff. And we've actually got 2 this week. And one of them, I believe, one of them I don't think it'd be a big deal. It's on Wednesday, but the other one's on Friday. And but the good thing though is that one is going into, our moon's going to switch into Leo. And from what I was researching, like if it was going into Sagittarius, I would be like, I don't know, because that's where travel, especially like plane, foreign country travel and all that is. But it is going to Leo, and I think it's like maybe this one's like maybe half a day or something like that. It's not a super long one. But yeah, Leo is more about our ego or pride, and also probably showing expressing ourselves, putting ourselves out there in a creative manner, can be one of the things that is not so great to do during that time until it actually moves to a planet makes an aspect with the sign, is what we wait on with that. And it's a void kind of period there. But another thing I was wanting to mention to you too is, holy crap, this is your second Saturn return. You read about that. Read up on that. It could put a lot of perspective. They only happen like every 30 years. So it usually kind of would happen more of like when in your 30th one, it's more of like around the age of like 29 and kind of can finish off into 30. But yeah, that's the second one. We're lucky. We're actually very blessed to live through 2. To live through 3 is quite remarkable. So anyways, those were just a few things that I was thinking about with you, that I was thinking about astrology wise. But anyways, I digress. We are going to sing happy birthday to Miss Hershey, the shadow reader. And I would put the comment up here, but my comment section is a hot mess. So I'm just ignoring it. Like as far as like hitting and putting anything on the screen right now. Okay. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hershey. Happy birthday to you and many more. I hope the weather is a little bit better than it is here for you, Hershey. But I imagine that you will make the best out of your day no matter what, because you are very strong, wise, fun, and yeah, you don't let this world kick the crap out of you. You get up, keep going, and help others, and that's beautiful. So we love you, Hershey. Thank you. All right. And that's all Trista, I believe. Yes, yes, yes. We are almost through hellos. And then Karen is going to try. Oh, Millie. I did say hi to Millie. Oh, wait. What's going on in Oklahoma? Victor's in Oklahoma. I just made up you're in Chicago. Like, it's funny how we get like thoughts in our heads, right? Like, I don't know. I don't even know how I assigned that to you. Geminis, we're really good at doing things like that. Filling in like a piece of information from some type of assumption or something we heard wrong, and then we just insert it in there. That's a really great example of that. Uh, and that would make so much more sense why you would want to sing Oklahoma. I see you. I see you. Miss Taro D, what? We've got a celebrity here today. Oh my goodness. Seriously, though, we love Miss D, and she is a celebrity. She's a star in our world, in our community. And I don't see how Miss D cannot leave that impression on everybody that she touches in her day-to-day life. Honestly, we love you, Miss D. You've got a heart of gold and a wicked sense of humor, and we love you. And Miss Fatima, blessings. Sweet Fatima. Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all are showing me so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I didn't make it to you, I apologize. So yeah, like Tuesday is like Mars Day, right? So why are we talking about Lilith? Actually, if we want to think about anybody being as close to embodying the Mars fiery energy would be Lilith. Lilith in astrology, Black Moon Lilith, which I learned, there actually is an asteroid, but she's not asteroid at all. She's an apogee. It is a mathematical placement between the Earth, I believe, let's see, in the moon or whatever. Let's see how they perfectly describe that. See, these are the tough things about astrology to remember. I'm not really good at memorizing the definitions like that, for the long haul, but it is an apogee, and it's a calculation based off of the lunar node. So, it's linked to the moon there, the lunar nodes. And yeah, where was my thought process going on that one? Oh yeah. And it's in Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith loves Scorpio. Exalted. Scorpio is exalted. Yeah, like Scorpio is perfectly at home in this this dark feminine, this wild woman type archetype energy. Scorpio feels very comfortable there, and that's actually where Black Moon Lilith is now. It went there in March, towards the end of March, and stays there through, I believe it's like the 20th of December of this year. And it stays about like 9 months. There's a couple of different ways astrologers calculate it. I'm not going to bore you with that. Just when you're doing, like, if you're pulling up your charts, just let it kind of like default to the normal on that one if you don't understand the difference in the calculations. I wouldn't put all my focus there. That's basically what I'm saying. Um, but really, like, how you can see Lilith work in your chart, and I'm just going to speak about this off the top of my head. Or Lilith, I see lots of like shame in our reaction to shame in different parts of our life. It expresses itself through the sign, and you can see where in your life it happens in the house, like the planet or whatever. In this case, this mathematical point, um, it is kind of acting like the planet in this. So that's kind of like the actor, the main deal, the planet. And when we put a planet in a sign, we're kind of like, dressing it up, giving it a script. How does it kind of, act, and, kind of like the actor, I would think. And then you've got where it happens, like the stage, the house. So, like my Black Moon Lilith is Libra in the 6th house. Libra is all about relationships and balance in relationships and partnerships in that 7th house, so where Libra likes to stay. It feels comfortable in that 7th house. But yeah, mine's in the 6th house, and 6th house is like service, work, health. There can be things, in the workplace, relationships, power dynamic issues, even things over like everyday routines and things like that, is kind of where mine affects me. So other people definitely affect me in this regard. And I do feel like reclaiming power, feeling, bucking back at some things that I'm just like, no, that doesn't feel right. And then also, that's where a lot of our sexuality and our attitude towards women, especially the feminine, and the expression of her sexuality. So that, that's kind of like the astrology side, a very simplified version of it, mind you. Because today I really thought it was more interesting reading about Lilith versus Eve, because I'm sure all of you know, and the way I was raised, especially being Southern Baptist, which, yeah, Lilith, who? Like, who's that? I don't know. Eve. She was the first. She was the first lady, the first woman. And that's just the way I was raised. So it was really interesting learning about Lilith. And there's all kinds of scholars who debate, certain things, like in First Genesis. I was reading First Genesis. They were talking about that the woman wasn't even named in First Genesis. She wasn't named until second. She wasn't named Eve until then. And then they were even hinting that maybe Lilith was the first unnamed. And then when Adam actually gave, because he gave Eve a rib, but I don't think Lilith needed that. I've got that written down, that part. There's a lot, and that's not the only, it doesn't just go back to this. It's kind of like a mythological, it's kind of like where Kabbalah, or the Kabbalah, kind of goes, in that mystic Judaism, where the Lilith story comes from. But I believe there's also like what Mesopotamian or Babylonian too. I mean, there's a lot. Sumerian here. I mean, yeah, there's a lot. So yes, Jewish folklore here. The alphabet of Ben Sarah. Lilith was the first wife. Yes. And when she refused to submit to Adam sexually and spiritually, she said, I'll pass. I'll pass. And flew off into the night sky and left Eden behind, like a scene out of a biblical breakup drama. And the patriarchy didn't take that well. She was branded as a demon, a baby snatcher, and the cause of men's nocturnal emissions. But, was she evil, or was she just early to feminism? I don't know, right? These are all like good questions to ask. But going back to like, I want to find a little bit more because I pulled from a lot of different, I think I even went to actually like an official like site. Yeah, I mean, that made it sound like that came out wrong. But like it was actually like I believe like they like a scholar site who was studying like the Judaic part of it. Yes. They put in here that Lilith, yeah, she's highly controversial in Jewish folklore. And her name is not included in the creation story of the Torah, but she appears in several midrashic texts. Yes. There are multiple origin stories for Lilith, but the most popular, of course, is the one that I just said, the first wife of Adam. And here they even put a little bit more. According to the first Eve story, Lilith was created by God from dust and placed to live in the garden with Adam until problems arose between Adam and Lilith when Adam tried to exercise dominance over Lilith. So there's that power thing that comes out, and that is expressed definitely in the astrology of that too. One story tells that Lilith refused to lay beneath Adam during sex. She believed they were created equal, both from dust of the earth, thus she should not have to lay beneath him. I kind of like her. After Adam disagreed, Lilith fled the Garden of Eden to gain her independence. And Adam told God that Lilith had left, and God sent 3 angels. This was interesting. Yes, this was stuff I couldn't find on any other site. The 3 angels found Lilith in a cave bearing children, but Lilith refused to come back to the garden. And the angels told her they would kill 100 of her children every day for her disobedience. I mean, this is the nutty part of mythology and folklore and legends. Is like, how is that possible to have that many children? Is like offspring of offspring. I don't know. But that's kind of like where that children thing comes into play. How she got, legendary for taking children. But supposedly that if the children, any of the children had an amulet of either of the 3 angels, which I cannot say any of these S names, I'm not even going to try to attempt that, that their lives would be spared. Empathy, a little, I don't know. But yeah. So, and there's also talk about even Lilith, and there's been art depicted with Lilith being the serpent. There was a serpent, like the serpent that the notorious one in the Garden of Eden with Eve. Supposedly they were even insinuating that Lilith, out of her rage, that she was the one who was the actual serpent. And I thought that was very interesting. I liked that one a lot. But let's get to what really is the fruit of the matter here, is this archetypal split. Like things that we're expected to do and be with Eve, right? Which is that lighter side, versus the shadow side with Lilith. who was literally, you know, ran out just for, I don't know, not wanting to be laid on top of, as for one of them. Wanting more empowerment, sexual freedom there. I mean, I don't like to be told what to do like that. But, you know, and this is also like, it's also too, why do men desire one or the other? And I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it. So I found a super, super interesting article on Medium by Doriana Proga, and I thought this was really good. It wasn't written too long ago either. But she calls this the Madonna whore complex. Interesting, right? It's like a silent war between the repressed and the free feminine. And I thought that was really cool to look at it that way. So of course, we know who the forbidden one is, right? Um, she talks about, you know, in every woman there's a split that was never meant to exist. On one side stands Eve, the obedient, pure motherly archetype, the good girl, the wife material, the one you take home to meet your mama, your family. And then on the other stands Lilith, the wild, sensual, defiant one. Untamed, magnetic, refuses to be controlled, the one you desire in the dark, the one you fear in the light. Sounds like a Scorpio. No shade, Scorpio. No shade. Just don't mess with the Scorpio. Don't make them mad. All right. These two archetypes live not only in the minds of women, so true, but deeply embedded in the psyches of men. And the split is ancient, psychological, and spiritual. And yes, there's a phrase in here, sexual shame, social judgment, and family dynamics. And it's not just a myth, it's a memory, it's a wounding. So when we're looking at these archetypes, we're bringing things into light here. And she goes into the Madonna whore complex here, saying that many men often raised by over-idealized mothers suffer from what Freud, remind me sometime to bring his chart on here. Let's look at his birth chart. It's nutty. It was wow. Anyways, yeah. We can see why he was so sexually obsessed in his birth chart. But yeah, Freud called this the Madonna whore complex, the inability to desire the woman they love and the inability to love the woman they desire. Oh my gosh. That sounds messed up, just like we think, right? Like, this is so messed up. Oh my gosh, that's so messed up. Yeah. She's basically saying they often unconsciously seek out women who resemble their mothers, who are emotionally safe, nurturing, and morally pure. They choose Eves not because of conscious preference, but because of an unresolved psychological fusion with mom. Yeah, and Jung called it anima possession. When a man projects his inner feminine onto women rather than integrating it. That's interesting as well. I'm more of a fan of Jung myself. Yeah, he doesn't see the woman as she is. Yes. So Eve is the saint, and then Lilith is kind of like the forbidden fruit, the forbidden desire, right? And then they kind of go into this mother worship, calling it like an Oedipus trap, over idealizing mother. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So yeah, the price Lilith pays for Eve's silence. Women who carry Lilith energy, those who are beautiful, confident, sexually expressive, or simply unwilling to conform, pay a heavy price. Yes, we're often hypersexualized, objectified, envied, or outright assaulted, not because of who they are, but because of what they represent. So, this is kind of like, what do we choose to be? Like, what is right for us? How has this affected us? And my son has let one of the girls out. They were up super earlier this morning. I did not get any sleep hardly. I hear you, Miss Nance. I hear you. Nanny Banani. That's one of my nicknames for her. But I really like something that she wrote here, and I thought this was so beautiful. And I resonated with a lot of this too as a mom, as you know, kind of going through these different phases and stages of life, because we can actually live more than one archetype at once. And also we switch archetypes. We change, we grow, you know, like maiden, mother, crone, that kind of thing, that idea. But this one, it kind of reads like a poem, and I really liked what she wrote. When Eve destroyed me, I tried to be Eve, I really did. I made myself smaller to make others feel bigger. I dumbed myself down so men wouldn't be intimidated by my mind. I chose purity. I chose obedience. I chose what I was told would make me lovable. And this doesn't have to just go to romantic love, right? And I was still left abused, still left lonely, still left destroyed. Being Eve didn't protect me, it erased me. The fire of Lilith has always been alive in me, quietly, rebelliously, but I kept trying to smother it in submission. Still, I was shamed. I feel like that's a big key word and a big thing. It's like, why do you, when you look at your sign in your house, why do you feel shame there, and think about it in those terms? Brings a lot of light to it. Good shadow work. When I chose to raise my child and not work for a while, I was shamed for not contributing. When I struggled with postpartum depression, I was shamed for not holding the household together. I was told things so cruel that I made a silent vow to myself more than a decade ago. I will never depend on anyone's paycheck. I will never beg for their pity. I will rise. I will survive. And she says, I kept the Eve aspect alive through my devotion as a mother, choosing to divorce, take my daughter, and start a new life in a foreign country. Wow. Just the two of us. I was Eve in my love, but I had to become Lilith in my survival. I love that. I was Eve in my love, but I had to become Lilith in my survival. Because at the end of the day, right? I mean, we need to live. We need to do what we need to do. And um, sometimes it doesn't always look very pretty, right? But she writes, now I walk with her, talking about Lilith, because no matter how much I try to be soft, men still hate me for my fire. No matter how much I try to be Eve, they still fear the power in my voice, the force of my mind. So I stopped trying. I am no longer available for a world that only loves me when I am palatable. And the integration, she writes here. I think I'm just going to read like little bit, not all of this. She put, healing does not lie in choosing one archetype over the other. It lies in the integration of the two. And I can see that kind of like the divine feminine and masculine principles, the light and the dark, they're polarities. One that they always exist simultaneously. So it's about, stop fearing sexuality. Stop wearing the wounds of exile. And men must stop splitting women in half with these stereotypes too. But also, is there not a responsibility on our part to not allow it as well? These are all questions that we ask when we look at this. This, new feminine, if we take both of them here, the new feminine is not a return to obedience. She's not here to be chosen. She's here to choose herself. She is sensual and sacred. She nurtures and devours. She remembers her rage and her softness. And she's done performing purity for the comfort of others. She is Eve and Lilith, saint and serpent, mother and mistress, holy and tamed. The question is not which women you will choose. The question is, can you handle her in her entirety? Because if you can't, she will walk away in heels and in fire and never look back. That's Lilith. But that's actually, I agree that to kind of go back in between the two, right? But really, it does say a lot. And when you look at just how women, through witchcraft trials, through all kinds of things, just easy targets for some greater big system of control here or something. I don't know. Has it met somebody's agenda? Reminds me, I had my questions in front of me. We're going to do a quick little spread here. And I'm going to do it with the Oracle card this time, just to mix it up. I hope y'all are enjoying everything today. Sorry, y'all. I'm so not tuned in with comments. All right. This is a new little deck that I got, actually. I put it in my community tab when it was on sale on Amazon for get this, I think I got it for less than $3, and it was like a $26 deck, so that's pretty cool. It's not that price anymore, but it's called The Wandering Heart by Raina Biddy. She's a poet, and she did this little oracle here. So I'm actually priming this up for the first time here. So we're gonna look at Lilith, the dark feminine side. What truth are we hiding? Reflexive. What strength lies within shadow or rage? That should be an interesting one, right? And then we've got the light, the feminine side here. What's the more inherited role? And what's a sacred grace? And men, yes, masculines. You have Black Moon Lilith in your chart as well. So we all can embrace this. We have both. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, you can play with that one. He's only got 3 legs now, or 3 feet anyways. Talk about girl. Okay. I'm probably gonna pull from some different decks. This first one I'm gonna put for the first one is an untamed truth. And I want to pull it for the first one in the light side too. Craziness around here nonstop. I'm gonna have to get her just a second and move her. Yes, tell me. Oh, look, like this sweet little heart in the back. Honeymoon, that's weird. I am. I like that energy. Caged bird on the bottom. I'm gonna say that bottom card is the whole reason, like why somebody's there for the reading, right? Caged bird. I mean, that is a definite Lilith theme there. This will be my one. Ooh, evil eye. Oh my gosh, and sacrifice. Okay, that really lines up with the light because I feel like there's a sacrifice to do that. And then the evil eye and the dark side. This is already working out very interestingly to do spread this way. I'm liking it. I have a darker deck down here. I wanted to pull two. And both are in. Let me take care of this real quick. I'll be right back. We'll finish this up and I'll let y'all get on with your day. Okay, I apologize. You'll probably hear some big mad in the background. Everybody's okay. Ooh, my candle went out. Oh goodness. Don't let the fire go out. Everything's a message. All right. Yes, this is my Alice in Wonderland. I wanted to pull from this. What is this? The Lucy Cavendish, because it's got a really dark little twisted side to it, and I haven't used this deck in a long time. I figured it would be good to show kind of the shadow, maybe on both sides of that. This is just something I've been wanting to kind of like experiment with. I want to do like a Celtic cross just with oracle cards. I bet it can be done. Maybe even more easily. Okay, so a hidden power and a sacred grace are other two that we're looking for here for the dark and the light. And then we'll just get two more cards. And yeah, that's the spread. Oh my goodness, they're screaming at each other, but they're not hurting each other because I have them separated right now. Oh gosh, girls. They certainly have no problem expressing themselves. I learned something too. I'm putting together something. This is gonna, it's not an easy thing to do. I might have to just do a special segment or something outside of coffee and cards because it's really too big to talk about. Is ages that we go through in astrology, like milestones. And one of them is interesting is that, like, I think about like at the age of 2, terrible twos. This is like your first Mars return or something. So big feelings, big feelings with that Mars. Never never jam today, but that's in reverse. Empty words in reverse. Let's see what this one is. Curiouser and curiouser, but in the reverse. Okay, yeah, I'm looking. They got mixed up. All right. Okay, so we've got on the bottom here 4 falling, but it's in the reverse, the unknown, the descent, the momentum, the change. So it'll be interesting. Okay, investigate. Hidden power, investigate. And then a grace, a softness here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's get our last 2 here. And we will, yeah. I wanted to pull up my Kim Krans archetype deck. Circular. Fun to shuffle. Super fun. Which one? Yeah. So what archetype out of here? What needs balancing? And this could come from a lot of different things, so it'll be interesting. Wow, okay. Wanted to tell us 2 things right away here. The Bardo and the Medallion. Interesting. And they're both L's, so they're kind of the same. Definitely consulting her book. I do every time. and then I just like want to pull like a sacred destiny for the overall message here of how can I fully embody my divine feminine power. This should be interesting. Let's see what this says. I actually won this deck from Benny. What is his channel? The Fool's Apprentice Tarot or something. I answered a question right now on Oracle decks. That was cool. I don't even remember what question it was. But I got it right. Whatever it was. Okay. Thank y'all for your patience. And I think like this Friday too, there's like a Mercury Cazimi as well. It's like a perfect conjunction, meaning that the sun, which usually will weaken anything it's really close in conjunction with, it'll weaken another planet. It will not weaken Mercury. So they'll work together really strongly. You can feel mental sharpness and stuff, but also though it can feel a little chaotic at the same time. Like a lot of information it can feel a little, hard to stay grounded. Things can move quickly. I'll give you a little bit more information about that tomorrow, though. Wisdom, simplicity. Where's the medicine? Courage on the bottom. I'd say it does take some courage, right? Trust. Feel like already the answer is like to trust in ourselves. I'll grab a few charms because, it's not at my table without charms. I'm trying to grab some. Let's see. Hopefully. Oh, interesting. Okay. I love when I find things in here that I didn't put in here because I have kids, so I think these things happen. And a fortune cookie thing fell out here. On Thursday, a supportive friend will offer valuable advice. Not Thursday yet. So if a friend gives you some advice on Thursday, please follow it. Okay. All right. So we're looking at our untamed truth first here. And that is with the Evil Eye. This is a brand new deck. I do wish to see. She numbered it. 18 in the tarot is that's the moon in the tarot. Yeah. Okay. So what truth are we hiding or whatever? Evil eye. The keywords here are deception and intention. It's about practicing protection rituals. We're spiritually covered, animosity will not thrive here. However, take into account that you may not know your secret critic directly. Oh my goodness. You're giving too many details, publicity to hate on, hold back, think before speaking, and do not overshare. Yeah, do not. This is actually about not oversharing your truth, and that makes a lot of sense with Lilith because there's a mysteriousness there with Scorpio. Scorpio likes to find out other people's secrets. They don't like to tell much about themselves. They will ask and find out a lot about you and read into a lot. But you can often find you don't really know as much about them. They're very good at that. And I think that is a power actually, is that maybe not all of our truths need to be told in that way. There's almost like a tactic and a sense of protection that I feel like, Lilith definitely embodies for sure. We've got the hidden power here with investigate. Investigate. And as I said, yeah, Scorpio is like the master detective of the zodiac as well. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. Yes, and that is in that evil eye, like not giving away too much, looking and seeing what's going on. That's it. That's a hidden power. Yes. There's a mystery there. Don't want to like give out all the cards, right? And then on our no, Rebecca Grace, no. Okay. Hey, mama. Sort of here. Oh, on the light side, sacrifice. This feels so Piscean to me. Because that's a house where, it's like, what sacrifices make, like, it's like kind of with the hangman, kind of almost make ourselves a martyr of something. And it might not even be that clear that you're doing it. Oh. So what have we been conditioned to be? A sacrifice. And it's about being a servant here. We're being called to introduce new themes of healing to our community. We're being pulled to teach others how to love themselves. For once, this is not about you and you only. Yeah, that's totally the light side. This really came out. However, you will not be able to guide a soul if you yourself are still wandering. And she says, like, during this time when we feel urge to shed several layers. I always think of snakes with that shedding skin. Prepare yourself for a unique journey, a course you never anticipated. Pay attention to your dreams. There you'll meet an overflowing number of messages. So yeah, there can be things in our dreams right now. I feel like there always are, but particularly when it's said, listen. The key is to be so abnormally aware that no sign gets past you. Interesting. But it's like our role has been, it's there's a sacrifice for the greater good there, and that is the mom, right? That is that mom love. there. It's beautiful, but I can already see though there needs to be, a balance with that as well, because if we aren't taking care of ourselves, what good are we to other people? Truly. And what kind of example are we setting as well? It kind of sets the tone for how you expect to be treated. And it's hard to back that up, to back that away. It can be more shocking when you do. Then in our other here, for the sacred grace, where does my softness become my power? And we've got clock time, 14, temperance. Oh gosh, yeah. Time, pressure, in a rush. Interesting. Interesting. Patience, not rushing others. But also here, she puts a time of stress and added workload, increased responsibilities, feeling it's too late to pursue your dreams, feeling pushed to complete too many things, and an inability to say no. This could be a time of dynamic opportunity, but you must take charge of your own workload and do what must be done. It is time for one last push. The softness of not needing to be told thank you for everything. And that is that sacrifice, taking on burdens. There's a quiet power there, but we really need to balance with that evil eye protection of ourselves, and also investigating. To me is like discernment is kind of like the Seven of Pentacles to me a little bit, where you're looking at what's been grown here. If you look in her environment, she doesn't look too happy about it, right? She's just a little frustrated. But it's a time to evaluate before acting too, because with Mars, that Mars energy, which is Scorpio, its original ruler, is very fiery, can be very in your face. All right, so where does our medicine lie, my friends? One of our medicine cards here. So what needs balancing? The Bardo. Look at these skulls. Goodness. And then the medallion. Looks like dark and light to me right there, right? Whatever Roman numeral this is. Goodness. Please say there is a oh, God bless you. There is one. There is a I thank you for the yeah. But she doesn't put them in Roman numerals here. But I can tell you what actual number this is from here. You would just have to look at what I'm looking at to understand my confusion. Okay, 59, number 59 is the medallion. So that's page 183. And then the Bardo, what number was that? Is it the same? So that, okay, so one is a tool. That's good. That's something that we can use. That's good. And then what was the Bardo? Where did he fall? The Bardo falls in a place. I thought so. Okay, it's a place, and it's number 50. All right, so number 50 and number 59. All right, 163 and 183. Okay, I'm just going to look, of course, not read all of this, but she gives a lot of good information on these. The guidebooks are super nice. And I love her art. But with the Bardo, this is the space. It's the liminal. It's the in-between. It's the transition, right? Where am I out of alignment between the light and the dark? Maybe we're like living in the liminal, the in-between too much, a little bit. but also inherently being in this space creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. In this space, we can receive messages. Uh, Scorpio, which, I'm linking to Black Moon Lilith, is very psychic, very intuitive, very intuitive. When we're enlightened, this is about spaciousness, grace, and forgiveness. And when it's dark, it's torment, dislocation, hallucination, and transience. Wow. Okay. Goodness. It's not to be feared. We're take advantage of its energy by recognizing what needs to be resolved. Trust that there's a message for you from beyond. Ooh, and I just heard ancestors too. This can be like ancestral healing as well, because I imagine a lot of themes like come up like this with our ancestors, and especially how poor women's rights were way back and how further along that we've come. I mean, it would be quite shocking for people, I would imagine. But that's kind of like this place. So when we're in the liminal here, I feel like the tool to be used is the medallion, the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. Oh my gosh, this is about family. Okay. Yeah, the passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual with families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. Wow. One of the questions she puts up here, do you believe the objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced this to be true? But when this is light and light, it's about upholding traditions, protecting and honoring. Yes. And Egyptian scarab amulets can be like a something to look deeper into, ancient ones. This medallion. So I think it's about protecting the representation of our shadows. I'm just hearing that too. And also to balance this is to be able to go in that liminal space and see, I believe, like the light and the value and what needs to be protected out of that, but almost with, that mama bear kind of thing energy too, I feel like, when I'm seeing like courage, come out in the other. Let's see what Denise Lynn says with this trust, which is the true advice. And charms I can see. Pineapple, hospitality, southern for me. The pumpkin. I just thought Cinderella, right? But Cinderella stories. But also though too about reaping a harvest. I would say that there is some family associations. The tree comes out a lot. Okay. And transformations with this, with the butterfly. Yeah, breaking the chains. That one likes to come. And there's a key here, and it's a skeleton key. Cancer, yes, those watery emotions. Cancer rules the moon. Also, the crab is hard on the outside to protect its soft little squishy inside. Peach, peach, peach. Oh, we've got the two swans. But I see this, I mean, yeah, it can be in like our love and relationships, but I see this too as like that light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine. Somebody's getting in the driver's seat here, taking back charge there. We've got a C and a heart, and it's funny, like courage. I feel like courage, taking charge. We've got a 6 and a 9. Those are 6 and a 5. So 5, 6, 9 can be significant numbers. X. Getting rid of people. And 6. Oh my gosh. Okay. 6. Yeah. 6 is the number of the lovers, right? And then are you dealing out the poison or are you drinking the poison? I think that's a good question to ask too. All right, trust. What does she say? Oh, these are in alphabetical order. Bless you. Bless you, Denise one. This is a really lovely one. Desert vision. Oh my goodness. This is crazy because, and I'm sorry I'm going so over, but I'm almost done, I promise. The desert. They're the only scripture in the Bible where Lilith is mentioned. I believe it was in Isaiah. Didn't write that down, but that's not what's important. Is that basically the scripture just refers to going to the desert. You'll be sent to the desert, where what are those? Not coyotes, hyena or something like that will be. And Lilith is there because that's where she got excommunicated out of, to the desert. I thought that was interesting. And here we've got the desert. The desert vision. The desert seems parched and devoid of life, yet it is to the desert that spiritual sojourners go to gain messages from the Creator. Usually, it's a place of spiritual cleansing, renewal, and healing visions. Just as these terrains can feed our souls, they also nourish lands thousands of miles away. And she goes on to talk about a few. Well, I won't go into that. What this sacred landscape wants you to know, this is a powerful and important card to receive. Even when things seem parched or not fruitful, a deeper energy speaks the power of your inner knowing. Meditate, yes. And I think that's kind of like that part where it said, I was talking about the evil eye, being careful what you say, because meditation requires silence too. Trust those nudges from the universe. Your celestial advisors are close now. You are now open to receive some of the most important messages of your life through your intuition. Just died at 1 minute 12. Your intuition is spot on, so trust it. Okay. And even if there's some areas of your life that seem lackluster, know that other areas are being fertilized for a resplendent future. Have faith and know that there's a higher purpose. And I think that's the thing, like between the things that we sacrifice, the things that we fight for. This balancing of the light and the dark here. Some of these things we're not seeing all the fruits or the treasures that can be earned out of that. Also, with that, we don't think of like deserts helping other parts of the world. Like we just think of them being dry and barren, right? Yeah, and how they actually are helping like a whole ecosystem. I mean, like women, the feminine, the divine feminine does this to trust in our power, to trust to know when to go light and dark, like to trust that inner knowing, in knowing how to express that voice to be the most effective requires a little bit of strategy, right? And Lilith, she's going to do it the smart way, but it will be known. It will be known. But yeah, I definitely can see a little bit of Eve and a little bit of Lilith in me for sure. And I think that's really interesting to look at the two. We need them both. And I hope you found this interesting today. I know it was a lot of different information, but I think it's pretty fascinating. And I'm going to let y'all get on because this is the longest I've went. I think tomorrow I'm going to pull cards for looking at June. Just like, maybe get my T cards out and stuff. Maybe not, like not talk about one thing too much. And just do that so we can see what's coming up in June. So, all right. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, be good YouTube citizens. I like to return the same favor.
And I love you all. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.